Peace and power to everybody. Get ready to tap in and check in, see what's going on. Yeah, give everybody some time to tap in and check in, see what's going on. On a Saturday evening, Saturday night. Just got a couple questions. How long does healing take? Assalamu alaikum, friend. I'm okay, friend. Thanks for tapping in. Shalom to you. Shalom. I'm blessed. I'm thankful, friend. No, I'm thankful. So, how's everything with you, friend? Thanks for tapping in. I haven't seen you go live in a minute, so I hope everything is okay with you. Yeah, so I just wanted to send that assalamu alaikum to my good friend. Uh, what's that? The Shia White. What you put? Play what? It's kind of bunched up. What you would play for tonight? Which I don't. How you? I don't understand what you're saying. It's a oh, it's a gun game. Okay. So that's what you're doing. You playing a gun game. Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about healing. Talking about healing yourself. Like I want to know how long does healing take. So how old are you? How old are you? And am I pronouncing it right? Lashia or Lashi? Like, am I pronouncing it right? And to anybody new checking in, tapping in, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. So, how long does healing take? That's what I'm going to speak about tonight. Self healing and how long should a person be given to heal themselves? A year, 2 years, 5 years, a lifetime, 5 years, what, a decade? Like, how long should that take? What's going on, friend? What's going on? What's going on with you, friend? Thanks for tapping in to the live stream. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. My question is, how long should somebody be given for self healing? Is that the rest of their life? Is it 10 years, 5 years? Like, how long should somebody be given for self healing? Like, should it be a time stamp on that, or you got, for the rest of your life to heal? Like, how does this work? Like, I'm curious to know, how does that work? Like, how long should somebody be granted to heal? Does it depend what they went through or who they went through it with? Like, is that important? Like, what is the criteria for a person to heal? It just depends what they went through, who they went through it with, how long ago they went through it. Like, what's the criteria for healing? Because I'm understanding certain people say others didn't give themselves time to heal and they moved on in a relationship, or they moved on in a job, or they moved on with family. Like, what's the criteria for healing? How long should something affect someone? A year, a month, a day, an hour, 10 years, 5 years? What? It depends what happened. It depends who they went through it with. Like what's the circumstances? Is it a combination of things? Like, is it what you went through and who you went through it with? Or is it just what you went through? It don't even matter who you went through it with. Or it's about who you went through it with and not what you actually went through. Like, is it the combination of both? Or, and what do someone have to go through to know if they really hurt or got hurt? What's going on, man? It's fair. Salute, salute, bro. What's happening with you? How do I even qualify that? How is this my issue? Well, I'm not saying it's your issue or my issue. I'm asking, and first and foremost, again, salute to you and thanks for tapping in. I'm not saying it's my issue or your issue. I'm just asking, what's the window? Like, is it like what qualifies for the time period and what will qualify for somebody to heal? What they went through, who they went through it with, like that. That's what I'm asking. Or what you said, it have nothing to do with you, even if you not you per se, Manosphere, or me per se, but whoever they went through it with should give them time to heal, or the next person, or let's just say you went through something with a family member. Should that family member give you time to heal, or should your family give you time to heal? What do you need isolation and separation to heal? Like, is it a time period? Like, because some people say, well, you didn't give your chance, you didn't give yourself a chance to heal, or you didn't give that person a chance to heal. They still may be going through or experiencing trauma. So I'm just asking to try to get a better understanding. And also, what consists of a person needing healing? Like, what do they have to go through? I don't need something specific, but I'm saying, like, okay, if they have an argument with somebody, does that consist of healing time? Somebody lied to them, does that consist of healing time? They can't get along with somebody, does that consist of healing time? Or what would consist of trauma? I understand physical things, but what else consists of somebody having trauma? Like, does being lied to consist of excuse me, does somebody being lied to consist of trauma and healing? Being lied on, like, what is the basis for that? I have from them, so I'm willing to do more less for them because I feel. Okay, so you saying if it's family, you kind of know them and you kind of got a relationship with them, so you're going to give them a little bit more room, and you're going to work around or work with the situation so they can heal themselves. So okay, so now, and thanks for responding. So from your experience, based off what you said, so how much time would that take? Or it would be based around what happened, and then based off what happened, you're gonna say, okay, this happened, so I'm gonna give them a year, 2 years, a month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 4 hours. Like, so it got to be based off what happened. I understand now you're basing it off family. You're going to give them whatever it may takes. But now, how much time would that take? So it depends on what happened. Because some people, look at what happened and they'll say, okay, well, this happened. I might not never be able to recover from this. And I'm not even talking about anything physical. I'm just talking about things that happen. It ain't just got to be based on physical. It could be based around money. It could be based around clothes. It could be based around food. It could be based around shelter. Like somebody could have been living with a family member and they was paying that family member money. And it's like the family member wasn't paying their bills now. So if a family member living with a family member that wasn't paying bills, how long would that healing process take for them to get over the fact that they trusted them and they was paying them and they wasn't paying bills? Now, how long would that healing process take, or should it take? Well, again, that's why I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Again, you one of the rare breeds that have the self accountability and the self control and the self confidence as we understand it. In these days of time, a lot of people don't have that. I mean, I agree that business is business too. Like I said, I'm asking this because I hear that a lot. Like that person didn't heal or they're still going through trauma. And I agree that I've been through a lot. I'm not going to allow what I'm going through to affect other people. I'm just going to stay away from them when I'm going through whatever I'm going through, even if it may involve them. Like, even if I've been through something with someone, I'm still going to stay away from them. So if I do got to heal or I am suffering from trauma, at least I'm alone. At least I'm not involving them in it or giving them headaches with me being moody or depressed or stressed. Well, see, when you say time heal wounds, I mean, for some people, they don't want to give people time no more, and that's how they may heal. Okay, so when you say black people, so, and I'm not questioning what you said, I'm just questioning you saying black people. So other people, other cultures, they don't need time to heal from things they could suffer from, only black people in particular? I'm just asking. Okay, okay, so okay, we getting somewhere now. So you saying for somebody to have to heal, they if they don't deserve it, you're not giving it to them. So for somebody to get something from your perspective on what they deserve, what does that consist of? And forgive me, brother, the stream yard acting up, so I can't even go through the stream yard to go on the stream yard to let you come up to talk. So I apologize about that. Oh, you said, what's our relationship? So I base it off exactly what we've been through. I'm not basing it off who or what my relationship is with the person. I'm just going to base it off whatever we've been through because I could have a great relationship with somebody and they do something catastrophic and I just may not want to interact with them no more for the betterment of my mental health. And I could have a terrible relationship with somebody and we go through something catastrophic. And it's like we haven't really got the opportunity to know each other on a better level. So maybe we probably didn't understand each other enough. So that's probably why something catastrophic happened. So for me, it all just depends on how I'm gonna view the situation based off how I'm gonna come at it. And like I said, with myself, when I go through things, instead of me being upset or instead of me attacking people or checking them, I'm going to just withdraw from the situation. So I ain't got to worry about saying or doing something that I can't take back. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got, and that's peace and power to you on that one, Manosphere. I got you, bro. 100%. I got you. Because like I said, for me, it's I'm just gonna look at it like, what was my role in the situation? Like if I played a significant role in what happened, I'm definitely, I'm definitely, I'm definitely gonna reevaluate it. And once I reevaluate and I see my role, I'm gonna apologize. It don't matter if they accept it, they want to hear it, they fed up. If I played a major role in whatever the trauma could be or whatever the issue could be, I'm gonna apologize. And I'm not gonna apologize to make them feel better. I'm gonna apologize because maybe I wasn't fully aware of my actions at the time. So I'm gonna reevaluate the situation. Now, once I reevaluate and I see like, okay, I didn't really cause the hurt or the trauma they're going through, I'm gonna just fall back. I'm gonna give them time. Now, maybe if they want to reach out to me after the fact, I mean, we could talk, but that may not change our relationship. You know what I mean? They may reach out to me. I accept the apology, but I know me. I'm not going to even want to reconsider having a relationship again because I'm not an open door or open window for people to come in and out of my life to see how far they can go. And I'm not mad at nobody, but I'm just not going to do that. And I'm still going to love them and appreciate them. I'm just not going to deal with them though. That's all. Let me see what you said. You said they family and I'm used to them. I know how to adapt to the. If I know your trauma, then I know how to deal with it or how to react to it. Well, again, see that what you're saying, that's relevant. However, some people don't know what's the cause of the trauma. They just going off, for example, they hurt or they dislike something that happened. And you could have said something or even did something that you wasn't aware of that you said or did. Like, for instance, you could just be having a conversation with another family member or over your phone and somebody could overhear what you're saying. Yo, I already don't rock with family anyway. And they could take that the wrong way and might not know how to come back to you and say, yo, what you said over the phone, I felt like that was me. And you probably didn't even mean them per se or in particular, but they might take it like that. And once they explain that to you, you might be like, man, that wasn't nothing. I didn't even mean you. And it may be like I'm saying, but you didn't specify. You may look at it like, I love them, but who is them for me to specify what I meant? And I'm having a conversation on my phone. And that may affect them now for the next month, week, day, year, whatever. Salute realists in the building. Salute realists in the building. Realist, I don't know if you know somebody that's been tapping in with me, you know, on my live streams lately. Black Manosphere. He a good dude. He a strong-minded dude. And he's not a biased person when it comes to speaking up and a perspective. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna really think before he speak. So he's kind of in that space we in, bro. Like he speak his mind, but he ain't speaking from a place of selfishness or biasness or hate. It's coming from a conscious mind when he speak. So I appreciate the brother. And I just wanted to let you know because you always tap in. So if you see him in the comments, that's my brother, the Black Manosphere. That's the name of his channel or his platform. So I'm saying when it comes to healing, a lot of people come at it various different ways. So like I said, you said if it's family, you know them a certain way, you can adapt. Okay, just because you can adapt, Manosphere, now I can adapt. But now, are we going to base the way we're going to adapt off the way they're going to deal with us? Or are we just going to adapt based off the methods and the way our mind frame work? Or are we going to adapt based off how they're going to deal with us? Because we all got our ways how we going to deal with things. Like you said, if it's family, you know them like that, you can adapt. And I have been through things with family and I had to adapt. And when I adapt, it was like they were still so stuck on whatever happened, we couldn't kind of get to a safe place no more because they were so stuck on it. They didn't want to adjust now because I adapted to like, okay, this is what the issue is. So now I'm going to adjust to what the issue is. And they didn't want to adapt, or I adapted and they didn't want to adjust. And it was like, we kind of couldn't move on, or we kind of couldn't elevate because they was kind of still stuck there. See, the thing about that, what you just said is a lot more people need to understand that. That what you just said about them understanding how it can affect you and a respect for you. I'm glad that when I learned that, I was already maturing as I was learning that. Because some people is not mature enough to understand what you just said. So for me, I'm blessed and I'm grateful that I was able to be in the process of maturing. So when I had to adapt, and now that the person that it happened with, a family member, so to speak, since they wasn't even maturing and nobody else before me and that person went through we went through was holding them accountable. So now they didn't even know how to accept whatever their position or their role was in the situation we've been through. So let's just say if I said something they didn't like and they said something back I didn't like, and I came back to them and I said, yo, I apologize to you. We still family. I love you regardless. Now they may have came back and said, but I'm saying, you always saying stuff reckless or you always doing this. I'm like, I'm not saying I didn't, but I'm apologizing because I got love. I appreciate you and I respect you. Now, even though I'm apologizing, this was your role in the situation. And they may have just came back at me. Like, what? No, I'm saying you can't tell me this, that. And that's going back to what you said about the respect thing now. And you don't want it to affect you. So when I peep game on that, I had to say, you know what? I appreciate you, but you know what? I'm going to fall back. And on an honest note, it's still like that with certain family members that other family members see me and they be like, yo, you still ain't speaking to such and such. And I tell them, it's not that I'm not speaking to such and such. I'm doing what I'm doing for my peace of mind. I'm not mad at that family member, but I'm doing this for my own peace of mind. And like you said, if it do require for them going away and separating or isolating themselves, from my perspective, that's something they got to figure out. See, for me, I'm glad that I figured that out, to step away from things so I can get my mind together, so I don't say something or do something that I can't take back. Because before I matured, I was at that place in life when I never isolated or separated myself, and then I said something or did something that I couldn't take back. So to me, that's key. That's just as big or bigger than either adjusting or adapting, separating and isolating yourself so you can get that mental clarity on a one-on-one. Like for yourself and with yourself, so you can say, I know this triggered me, or I know if this happened, how I'm gonna respond to it, or I know if somebody come at me like this may get me upset. You know what I mean? But if you not doing what you said, isolating and separating, you won't never really be able to diagnose yourself with what's gonna trigger you.
Are they trying to heal, and what's their method way? It could be they recognize that the trauma and they are trying to get help.
Well, when you talk about getting help, now some people, because we had this conversation when the last time you was on, some people don't look at themselves as they the ones that need the help, or they the ones that need to seek help. They may, because of lack of accountability and self-awareness, they may be looking at the other party that's involved, that it's just their bad. Or when they go through things with people, it's always someone else's bad. Because, like I said, I'm humble and I'm grateful that you on a self accountability level. I'm there. And like I said, I wasn't always on self accountability. And it wasn't that I was blaming other people. I just didn't know how to evaluate myself and look at myself. Again, I'm not saying I was always blaming other people, but I wasn't evaluating myself. I had to really understand what I didn't want, what I did want, what was acceptable, what wasn't acceptable. I had to learn what my boundaries had to be when it came to certain people, family or not. Like, okay, even though this is my uncle, this is the boundaries I'm gonna set. Even though this is my dad, this is the boundaries I'm gonna set. Even though this is my kid, this is the boundaries I'm gonna set. Even though this is my mom or whoever, this is the boundaries I'm gonna set. So when you want to go get self-help, for one, you already got a leg up in the situation because you want to work on yourself. A lot of people don't want to work on themselves when it comes to trauma. They want to try to medicate themselves with clothes, with food, with other people, with drugs, with social media, with music, with movies, with TV, and getting in other relationships that they may not be spiritually, mentally, or psychologically ready to get in, but they getting in it because they just want to run from or avoid dealing with whatever they didn't really get over yet. So it's like, okay, some people move on in relationships with dealing with other women or dealing with other men or being around other family members, and they ain't totally over what may have happened with their father or their mother or their brother or their sister or with their ex-husband or their ex-wife or their baby moms and so on and etc. So now they get into a situation not fully understanding because, like you said, going to get the help they need for themselves. And see, now what you saying about to be right and they all the way wrong, but how they gonna recognize that, Manosphere, when they're not going to get the self-help so they can look at themselves and know now not only how to respect themselves, self-awareness, control themselves, and have the self-esteem and the self-confidence they need. So no matter what situation they in, when other people say and do things, it won't affect them because they do a lot of mirror. They do a lot of mirror, meaning self-reflection and looking at themselves. Now, realists, ignorance is real, but ignorance is only real, like Manafort just said, though, because they don't want to do self-awareness and get themselves help. It's like when I was smoking weed, it don't matter how many people told me I had to stop smoking weed. I had to recognize on my own that I had to stop smoking. It's like somebody gamble. You could tell them every day, yo, stop gambling, stop gambling, stop gambling. They got to recognize on their own that they need to stop gambling. It don't matter how much somebody telling them to stop gambling. And if they always getting into arguments about gambling, they ain't going to look at the fact that they're gambling too much. They're going to look at the person telling them to stop gambling. They're going to be like, yo, this person always trying to tell me what to do or how to live my life. I could gamble every day if I want. And the gambling is not the problem. The issue is they're not looking at themselves and pinpointing some areas that they weaken in their life to start to work on those areas. So no matter what they do, they can still control themselves. And it's going back to what Manafort said about self-accountability and self-respect.
Are they trying to heal? And what's their method? You said I had to calm down, apologize, and say to myself, I will never ever do that again. I'm upset or whatever. I now won't let it get me to a place where I hope I'm cool on the burger.
Well, again, see, but that's key. Going back to what you said about the self-help or the self-healing, or acknowledging the fact that you want to work on you. Like I said, when I started to work on me, relationships got worse with other people because people call me selfish. Or people say, yo, oh, you on it another way, or why you isolate yourself, or whatever they were saying. I was like, because you know what? I got to work on me before I could interact and deal with other people. I got to fix me. Because if I'm not fixed, how I'm gonna be around other people? So it don't matter, like you said, what those people say or do. I could hold my head, I could keep my cool. And that's relevant though, man. It's fair. So thanks for putting that out there. My sister in the building. What's going on, Carla? What's going on? So that's relevant. Like, because like I said, when I started to isolate and separate from certain people and or family members, of course they got at me. However, since I was in the process of self-healing and I was already acknowledging things that I didn't want and I was setting boundaries, I was able to let them know nobody did nothing wrong to me and I don't have no problems with nobody, but I got to fix me. I got to better me. And I'm not saying that I'm broken. I'm not saying that I'm broken. I'm saying though, I gotta focus on me so I know what triggered me, and I have to learn how to set boundaries with everything and everybody. And now, if a boundary get crossed, that'll be my fault because I didn't set it. I probably could say, okay, these are the things that I don't want to go through and deal with, but I also got to set the boundaries. So I got to go re-talk to those people or those family members and let them know, look, these are my boundaries. Now that's up to those people if they respect and understand those are my boundaries. And if they don't, I'm not mad at them. But like you said, I'm not going to lose my cool with people that I love or people that I got respect for or somebody that I kind of know our relationship. So if it do kind of go there or get there, we could resolve it. Excuse me, we could resolve it. So that got to be important when you talking about a healing process. Yeah, but see, this is why me and you building a better relationship the more you tap in. But see, what you got to understand, though, brother, you got to that point, and you decided to become more loyal to yourself so you could be loyal to others. I had to learn that. Like I had to really learn what you just said. That took time for me anyway. I can't speak for nobody. For me, that took time. I had to learn how to self-love, self-respect, self-awareness. And that took time for me to be able to do that because I know I'm not going to never be dishonest and disloyal to myself. So how can I do it with other people or to other people? And I also had to learn how to speak to certain people. So what I'm saying, it don't come across as offensive or hurtful. Because sometime when you get to the place that you said you at, where you loyal and you just want peace and all that, sometimes you got to learn how to speak to certain people. So what you saying and your perspective or your point of view don't come across to them as offensive. Because like you said earlier, some people don't know what triggered them. And you could say something to them that they take offensive and you didn't even mean it like that. Or your disposition to them could come across as disrespectful or hurtful or spiteful, and it might not be like that. So like I said, for me, it took me some time, but when I finally got there, I was even more humble. I was even more loyal. That's why I say what I say on my platform about turning lust into love, turn love into loyalty, turn loyalty into longevity. So what you said, that resonated with me like 1,000,000,000%, bro, about the loyalty thing. Because I want to turn loyalty into longevity. So therefore, whatever I have with whoever the person is, we could turn it into longevity so we know when something being said, it's not about right or wrong no more. It's about having a better communication. So if something get lost, all we got to do is say, all right, let's go back on the conversation. So we can discover where we lost each other at and say, okay, well, this is where the miscommunication came in at. Instead of us just moving forward and not really having an understanding of where the miscommunication kicked in at, and we just keep hindering the conversation by saying unwarranted things. Or it could even extend to somebody doing something unwarranted. Because like I said earlier, some people move on in relationships and not just with a woman and a man or a man and a woman, with family, knowing they didn't totally resolve or heal whatever they've been through, maybe with their dad, or maybe with their mom, or maybe with their brother, or maybe with their cousin, or maybe with their sister. So now they may go through something with another family member. And like you said, if they didn't do the self-reflection thing and they don't know what self-accountability is about, or self-awareness is about, or boundaries, or self-respect, and now they go through something, they might not even want to look at the situation they went through with the next family member or the next person as being their fault, or they got to reevaluate themselves. I'm just reading what you said, brother.
Growing up and wanting good relationships, if that's your goal, you can always fall short, but it's never your goal or aim to do anything bad anyway, so once you just spend time.
Well, again, that is the goal. However, though, what you said earlier, I definitely concur on that about you have to get to that point when it may sound selfish, but you have to learn how to be more selfless instead of selfish. So you got to work on what you got to work on for you. So when you do interact with other people, you kind of got a better grasp on yourself because we can't control what other people say and do or how other people feel. Well, see, with that, with that, it's not that I agree or disagree. See, it all depends on the upbringing when it comes to children. Meaning, like with my mom and my dad, I appreciate both of them because even though their relationship wasn't what it should have been for them to, my mom never spoke down on my dad. My dad never spoke down on my mom. So when I started to not listen or go astray, that was surely on me. You know what I'm saying? Like that was surely my fault. That my mom did everything she needed to do to make sure I came up and grew up right. Same thing with my father. So with that, it's like it all depends on your mentality. And like I said, see how I'm holding myself accountable for that? Because had I not done what me and you said earlier, Manosphere, about the self-accountability, self-awareness, self-respect, self-control, self-confidence, I probably would still be blaming my mom or my dad. But it's not their bad. They did what they needed to do to put me in a situation to be a winner or to be winning. I decided to go the other way. You know what I'm saying? And certain decisions made me lose in life when I could have been winning or I should have been winning. And that was on me. And once I got to that point in my life where I understood that, I went back to my mom and let her know, yo, but that wasn't your bad. That was on me. That I didn't do this or I didn't accomplish that. And it's not that I blame my parents, but I understood now maybe my mom's could have even had a guilty conscience by saying to herself or believing that she didn't do certain things right. And it wasn't her bad. It wasn't my father bad. That was on me. Yeah, I'm just reading your comment, brother. Yeah, but see, with that, with that, like, you bringing it back to unless you've been lied or missing some key information. See, but that's relevant too. However, when you got that self control, self respect, self confidence, and the self accountability, even if you've been lied to, like you said earlier, you still gonna know how to pace yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like because you gonna know how to pace yourself so you can embrace yourself to understand and say, all right, look, no matter what, even though I've been lied to, they may not have known all the information that they gave me. They may have just gave me what they know. And now that you did the homework and you did the research, you may even find out that they didn't totally know they was giving you misleading information. Now, if they know and then you find out, then yeah, but they may not even know that. So that's why what you said about the self accountability and all that, that becomes even more important because they may not know that they gave you misleading information. And that's not taking nothing away from the people and or the parties that gave up the misinformation either. And I'm saying that like that because some people take it personal when you say what you just said, like, oh, well, what if I was giving misleading information? Or what if I was lied to? And that don't mean that you upset with them or you have a gripe with them. You just speaking about it because maybe the information they gave you may have led up to your action or your response or your reaction. So I get that. I get what you're saying. Again, I'm just reading your comments, brother. Yeah, let me go to the other comment before I get on the sandbox comment. So again, adapting It's critical. And some people, well, let me take that back. I'm gonna speak for me. See, I started to learn the more I started to do the self-reflection. Like I got booked one time, right, Manosphere? And when I was first getting booked, I used to be upset with family for not really being there for me, like not wanting to put bail money up, not wanting to come see me. But I got locked up one time and I got sent to the box. And when I was in the box, you know how that helped me? Because I had to look at me now. I had to really look at me like, you know what? But yo, bro, you putting yourself in these situations. How you going to get mad at your aunt or your uncle or your moms or your pops or whoever? They ain't got to bail you out. They ain't got to come see you. They ain't got to put nothing in your commissary. Bro, like you got to get your life together. Once you get you together and then situations that ain't working out right, then, but until then, you got to look at you. And in regards to certain people I did have from the Sandlot, I mean, as I started to grow and evolve, and the self accountability kicked in, and the self evaluation kicked in, some of those people I became distant from because the things they was into, I didn't want to be into no more. And it wasn't that I was mad at them or I didn't appreciate them. I just had to appreciate myself to say, that ain't for me. You see what I'm saying? Like, that ain't for me. It's like when I got on my quest to not smoke no more, I wasn't upset or I didn't have less respect for the people I used to be around that I used to smoke with, but I had to reevaluate me like, yo, you know what, bro? Like, but you got to stop smoking. And I had to stop being around certain people that I was around because that's all we used to do was smoke. Like watch the games and watch sports and smoke or listen to music and smoke. And it's like, but you know what? I got to reevaluate myself. And once I started to do that, and they'll call me like, damn, you don't even pull up. I'll be like, nah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, yo, I gotta do some self-reflection. There's some things that I gotta get out my life. And I don't wanna blame other people and I can't get those things out of my life. So if I stay to myself and get them things out of my life, it don't matter who I'm around. Now I can go back around those people that I used to be around and don't smoke, and it's nothing. And we still got a relationship, but they understood the fact that, you know what, he had to get himself together. He don't smoke no more. So now that I go back around them, they got a different level of respect for the fact that I had to respect myself and hold myself accountable that I didn't want to smoke. Because if I would have just prematurely went back around them and probably would have started smoking, instead of me looking at me, I'd probably be like, but damn, I started smoking because I went back around them. Instead of me looking at me.
You got locked up for your family, so service that you did that. Not to do with family and family not always take best relationship.
Yeah, see, but that's what I mean about being locked up. I had to self-evaluate though. I'm just telling you, man to man. And as a man, it was a point that I wasn't doing that. And I'm saying once I went through the solitary confinement situation and I was in the box, that helped me do that. That helped me look at me like, hold on, my family ain't tell me to do what I did. I decided to do that. And another thing, I'm not even looking at age no more. It's about mentality. My mentality started to supersede my emotions. Like, hold on, but nah, can't be mad at family. You put yourself here. And once I got out the situation, I had to go back to some family members or certain family members and apologize to them for maybe when I did speak to them over the phone, I was yelling at them or screaming at them or arguing with them, but like, yo, I was in a dark place. That was my bad. And that's going back to what we're saying about the self-accountability thing. Now, as far as what you said about people growing apart, see, that happens because when your mentality shift and your priorities shift and you have different boundaries, you grow apart from certain people because your priorities switch up and your priorities change. Now it's like, well, hold on, but I don't see that as important as it used to be to me no more. Not saying those people are not important, but them things that we used to share together, that's not important to me no more. And I don't want to indulge in that no more. And it may be important people in the situation, but the things in that situation with those people may not be relevant or important to you no more. And if they're not at a certain place far as their mental goal, they may just think that you mad at them, or you isolate yourself away from them, or you don't love them, or you don't appreciate them. And that's the total opposite. You just appreciate and love yourself on a bigger, stronger level where it's like, nah, I got to separate myself from those type of situations now. It's not really the people, it's the situations or the circumstances you don't want to be in no more. And some people, like you said earlier, don't really get that because they didn't do what you said, the self-help or the self-healing or the self-maturing or the self-accountability or the self-acknowledgement. And okay, you said when you operate with family, it's in the family dynamic. Some family members got their own dynamic. It's not about the relation no more because some people have a sister and they may be more tighter with their aunt than their sister. Some people got a brother, they may be more tight with their brother, with their cousin than their brother. Some people have a good relationship with their dad, but they may have a better relationship with their uncle. Some people have a great relationship with their mom, but they may have a great relationship with their aunt. That don't mean that their mother don't love them and they don't love their mother. That's just the family dynamic that they was able to build, and that connection and that rapport could be inseparable. Now, some people understand that, and some people don't let that get under their skin and it don't affect them. Some people do. So what you're saying about a family dynamic, nah, I understand that. I get that. Yeah, and that's another thing. When you get into the zone of becoming who you are, and like I said, and what your boundaries are, or whatever you're comfortable with, to some people, you might not be recognizable no more. Manosphere, like they might be like, I don't know you no more. Or you're a completely different person. And again, that don't mean you don't love them or you don't rock with them. It's just the dynamic that you taking on for yourself. They might not know how to adapt or adjust to that. And you probably adapted and readjusted to the way you're going to deal with them, but they might not have done that yet. It's like I said about me smoking. When I go or I went back around certain families that were still smoking, they looked at me a little different because I ain't smoking no more. And I let them know, nah, y'all can still smoke whatever. I'm good. Like, I get high off life now. And that they looked at me like, wow, okay, I ain't really see it from that aspect that you said that. Like, I'm just getting high off life. I'm just thankful that we coexisting and we're around each other. So like you said, when you finding yourself or you find yourself, certain people may still be on their journey. You know what I mean? And like you said earlier, and like I agreed to, sometimes you gotta let people be on that journey to find themselves. And if y'all meant to be in that place of space, y'all gonna be there. However, also, like you said, you can outgrow them or they can outgrow you. And that don't mean that you don't love them and they don't love you. It's just from a mentality perspective, y'all ain't where y'all used to be. Y'all gonna forever be family, but from a mentality perspective, y'all not there no more. Okay, well, again, that makes you a rare breed. See that, and it also makes you a rare breed because, for one, you speaking up about it. Some people do hold that back. Some people do hold in, and they see things a certain way, and they don't want to speak up or say nothing about it because they may be worried about someone else's reaction to it. No, and that's good. See, it's like this: like some people don't let certain things hinder them, and that's good that you was able to still smoke or whatever you did, and it kept you motivated or kept you ambitious. I'm just saying, for me, that's just something that I didn't want to indulge in no more. I'm not saying that it stopped me or helped me from doing anything. I'm saying for me, I just didn't want to do it no more. And I had to isolate and separate myself to get in the right perspective to do that. So no matter what happens with the situation, I have to look to myself. And that's, and you know what? Salute to you, brother. I appreciate that. Thanks for bringing that energy to my platform. I appreciate that, bro. Again, some people gonna understand that, some people not. Some people may even take that personal. However, the fact that you already seen what it was gonna be for yourself in your younger years leading up to where you are today, I take my hat up to you. Salute, brother. And I said that on one of my videos. It's about choices and options. And it's not that it's an excuse. You just acknowledging growing pains you have, because we all have growing pains in life. So for you to have growing pains, that's not an excuse. That's a part of, like you said earlier, growing and maturing. So that's all. And that's good that you see it that way. Should a lot more people see things that way, the world would be a better place. And and that's what I'm saying. I had my growing pains. I'm just thankful. Right. See how you said you wanted to grow. I'm just saying, when I had my growing pains, I'm thankful that I wanted to grow and evolve. I'm thankful that I wanted to do that for me. This had nothing to do with my family, nobody, just me. Like I said, when I looked in the mirror, I'm like, yo, I didn't like what I seen. And I wanted to grow and evolve for myself. And I'm thankful that I'm at that place that I do what I do for me. It's going to be people that may love it. It's going to be people that may hate it. It's going to be people that may salute it or whatever they're going to do. I'm humbled by anything. People like it, I appreciate it. People hate it, no problem. But I'm doing what I'm doing for me. Well, when I was younger, I was around a lot of the older people in the communities and neighborhoods I grew up in as well. That's why, like I said, when I went through what I went through and I, got booked, I was so glad that I started to look at me. And that's why I said I had to double back and go back and apologize to certain family members and certain people, because that had nothing to do with them. That was all on me. I made bad decisions and bad choices, and that's just 100% facts. So, you know, when you talk about growing pains, some people know that from a mental perspective, it's a certain hump they got to get over. And they probably looking at the hump, but they don't want to approach it. Or when they get by the hump, they like tiptoeing to get over it. See, when I seen that it was a hump I had to get over, I was thankful. Like you said, I seen that hump. So it's like, oh, this is the hump I got to get over. Man, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get over that hump. Yeah. And again, to me, my perspective is that's what life is about. Seeing what's right, seeing what's wrong, and being able to navigate through the trials and tribulations. Like having power, from my understanding, is being able to know when to leave things alone. And you gotta do what's right for yourself. That don't make you weak. Like that really shows strength to say, yo, I gotta leave this alone and do what's right for me. You gotta do the right thing for yourself. And that's also a blessing that you had examples to see. You know what I mean? Like to see, okay, well, I ain't gonna go that way. I ain't gonna go that way. That's a blessing. And like I said, for me, I know I wanted to grow. I just wanted to grow on my own. So I know this is the person that I wanted to grow to become to be. And see, when I look at myself, I didn't want to grow and mature because of what other people thought or what other people said. I wanted to do it for myself, and I needed to do it for me. And I'm thankful that I took that step, and I went through the process I went through. Because I was able to see things clearly the way I needed to see them. And also, I wanted to share this with you, my brother. See, another thing, too, some people, when it comes to themselves, they're selfish. Like they don't want to do what's right for themselves, and are in unwarranted and forced relationships to try to make it work with other people. And that was something else that I'm glad when I looked at myself that I seen. Like, you know what? I got to make things work for me. I can't look to be in relationships with other people. I got to make things work for me. And I was thankful when I acknowledged that about myself. And see, with knowing your limits, that's going back to the self accountability though. Like you can't know your limits with something if you're not holding yourself accountable or your self awareness ain't high. And another thing too, you know, that how you get to that point of knowing your limits, because you willing. I said this on one of my videos. People are willing to fight with others and for others and don't want to fight for themselves. So I had to learn how to fight with myself and for myself to do better for me and to do better with me. So I'm glad I learned that too, to stop fighting with others and for others and fight for myself. And again, that's good that you want to fix the situation. That's the beautiful thing. You could come into any situation with that mind frame because you worked on yourself. You dealt with trials and tribulations amongst yourself. So you're gonna come into the situation open-minded. It's something else that I said that I developed. I don't give people advice that I wouldn't take for myself. Well, again, man, I appreciate you because you giving me your time. So I appreciate that. Like I sincerely do, you know? And also, thanks for speaking up the way you do, because this is the energy and the vibes that I need. So I appreciate it. And that's good. And also, too, like I said, when you start to sense it and you start to see it, that's why you can move the way you move, because your third eye is very aware of your surroundings and the situation. So when you got that third eye working and lurking, you're gonna be able to spot things that other people don't see. Your intuition gonna always pick up on things that other people ain't analyzing. It's like I used to say, I analyze analyzation. Like I see things other people don't see. And it's like I also said that. I said, I'm gonna check myself, so I ain't gotta worry about like the police or nobody checking me. You know what I mean? Like I know if I don't want to listen to nothing and nobody else, listen to me and always tell myself the right way to operate and the right way to move. So I ain't got to worry about what somebody else looking to dictate to me, because I'm gonna tell myself the right way to move. So I get that. I get that. Like, people got to learn how to listen to themselves so they don't hear other people's voices in their head. Like getting to know oneself is a beautiful experience, because when you get to know yourself, you don't become like lonely, or you feel like you need people to be around you. Now, of course, when you see somebody that has a similar mind frame, y'all could build with each other, but that don't mean that they're gonna make up for a lack thereof people that you're not around or people you're not dealing with. So it's all on mentality, you know what I mean? And the self-respect thing and the self-awareness and the self-accountability. And just because somebody may be at that point in their life where they're not like that, and when they get like that, they'll understand and they'll be able to see things from a different perspective. Also, they'll be able to see things a lot more clearer. And once you gain that for yourself, it's nothing like it. Like the self-preservation thing, it won't come across as you being selfish towards other things and other people. It ain't gonna come across like that because they get it. They get it. They see what you see. And it's not y'all seeing the same thing. It's just from a mentality perspective. They understand about self-accountability, self-awareness, self-control, self-respect, self-confidence, self-esteem. And now they won't be insecure having a conversation with you, dealing with you, or being amongst you or around you because they know no matter what you do and what you say, you're not trying to put them down or you're not trying to attack their self-esteem or their ego or their pride. You moving and you speaking with confidence in everything that you do and say. That's all that is. And that's what we need a lot more nowadays. You know what I mean? For a lot more people to have a lot more self-confidence, self-respect, self-control. Okay. All right. All right. I got you with the Michael Jackson. I got you. I'm just reading the comments, bro. Well, winning to me is having a mind frame that keeps your mental health clean and clear. So therefore, no matter what somebody else is going through, you're going to keep yourself in the right mentality. So you don't have to worry about clashing or going through anything with anybody because you're going to check yourself and respect yourself. And that's going to make you become a winner. And now you're winning because of your mentality and your mind frame, the way you operate, the way you think. I don't see it as based off the things that you have because things come and go. But as long as you got that self-respect, that self-control, and the right mentality, you're gonna stay winning. And again, see, being confident in oneself, that's what matters. That's all to me. That's the winning perspective. That's the winning attitude. Like self-confidence. Like, because with that, just throwing a quick reference out there, like you could do anything with that attitude. Like, it don't matter what it is. Somebody might tell you, yo, you can't play basketball against this person. And since you're self-confident, it's not about you literally beating the other person. It's about you knowing you're going to put yourself in a position when you play them, they're going to understand, all right, you know what? Y'all got to respect this person. They got enough confidence that they even out here with me. And you're not doing it to solidify to that person that you could beat them or you keep up with them. You're doing it to solidify yourself that you got enough skills to be on the same court with them. That's a winning perspective to me. Well, see, whether people deserve the star or people earn a star, or however that star treatment comes down, it's like it's not just based off what you know. It's based off the way you operate too, the way you interact with others too. Like skill set have something to do with it, but it's also the way you interact with others. It's the way you conduct yourself. It's the way you carry yourself. So that's why I said it goes back to the boundaries you set. Because plenty of people got skills to do certain things. However, the way they conduct themselves or carry themselves or interact with others. So when you conduct yourself and carry yourself with high confidence and hold yourself to a high standard, now when you interact with others that recognize that and acknowledge that, now they're going to deal with you and understand you're not going to accept mediocrity. They're going to see that and say, well, this person ain't going to accept mediocrity. Because the way you conduct yourself and carry yourself, and now you have the right mind frame and you got the skill set to go with it. So that has a lot to do with how others that may have a similar mentality, how they'll interact with you. Because they're going to see that, like, outside of the self-confidence that you have in yourself, the way you conduct yourself, the way you interact with others. So when your mentality gets right, like I said, you can lose cars, money, clothes, jewelry, family, friends. But when you lose your mind and that mind ain't right, you may not be able to recover. You may not. So that's why that's so important and that's key in a lot of situations. And no matter what others may say, think, or believe, you know you conducting yourself in an orderly fashion. So you're not going to let somebody else's lack thereof confidence distract you or deter you from doing what you know you need to be doing anyway. Or you're not going to let others implant their inferiorities on you. Like, yo, you can't do that. You need this to do that. And it's like, I wasn't telling you, or I didn't let you know for you to consent on this or for you to sign off on it. I'm just letting you know because this is the man that I am, and this is how confident I am about what I'm about to get done. So someone else's inferiority, you ain't gonna let that affect you. You ain't gonna let that bother you. So that self-confidence, man, that's huge. That's huge. Self-control, that's huge. And it may take some people longer than others to grow or to go through them trials and tribulations. But I truly believe they'll get there and then they'll be a lot more open-minded to accepting that that's not an easy process to get through and go through. Everybody gonna have to go through growing pains. That's life. It's how you deal with them growing pains when you get torn. That's the thing. Like, will you let them keep holding you back and keep you down, or you going to let them help you climb? It's like I said, when I came from the bottom of the ocean and I'm gonna get to the top of the mountain, when I'm looking down at the bottom of the mountain, I'm not looking down at others or on others. I'm looking down to see that I'm leaving myself where I used to be, because that's the old me. I'm climbing the mountain so I could look up and see a bigger, better, brighter me. That's why I'm climbing up the mountain. Jacqueline, how you doing, friend? So for me, that's how I see it. I'm climbing up that mountain looking down, because I'm looking back at my old self like, you're not going to be that no more. You're climbing this mountain to become a better you. And that's what's needed. You know, you look back on your old self and say, nah, I'm gonna become a new me. So that's what's key. So I wanted to just know kind of what people need for the self healing process. Like, does it, like, what does it take? A year, a month, a week, a day? Like, does it depend off what somebody go through, who they go through it with? And thanks for the Black Manosphere for tapping in and always bringing, first of all, raw energy. Second of all, his perspective on a lot of situations. Third of all, I appreciate his time, because like he said, he don't waste time and he don't deal with people who BS. So I'm thankful that he's giving me his time. As I tell everybody out there, I'm thankful for their time, effort, and energy. I appreciate that, because you can't get that back. So I'm thankful for the brother. And everybody else who tapped in, Carla, Rillis, or Jacqueline, I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody's love. I appreciate everybody's tolerance for checking in with me, tapping in with me. And the conversations is getting better. They're getting deeper. It's more experience is coming with the conversation. We opening up the doors and the windows for a lot more knowledge to be spread and passed around. And more importantly for me, I like the conversations how they are. They in depth and it's no punches being held. I really appreciate that. So keep it coming. And, for the future, this is the type of environment I'm looking for. I'm looking for purity, organic things, and natural things, and for people to be themselves. Because everybody else is taken. So just be yourself. Everybody else taken. So that is very strategic and very important. And like I said, a lot of people going through situations and they going through trauma or they going through healing. So I pray they do that mirror thing I said, to self-reflect and look in the mirror and start working on themselves. So they don't have to go through the things they're going through with other people. You could self-heal. You could self-reflect. So again, thanks to everybody who tapped in. Salute to the Black Manosphere. Salute to Realist. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate you. Who else tapped in? Jacqueline. Thank you, Paul. Who else tapped in? Who else tapped in? Ziyaina TV. Assalamu alaikum to you. So again, thanks for everybody for tapping in. Appreciate your time, effort, energy. And remember, self-respect, self-control, self-confidence, self-awareness. It starts with you and it ends with you. So to everybody, enjoy their Saturday. Stay blessed, stay calm, stay focused, and do what work for you. Peace and power to everybody. Peace, world. I'm gone.